I just keep hearing backfired. And when the pawn became the game maker. And if this is for you, I want to tell you that the human contract could never override the soul's contract. We're going to use the whispers of unsolved. If this is for you, you are standing at full circle, and I want to tell you on the other side of the door. Blackmail in reverse. If this is for you, I want to tell you that you were placed at a table where your downfall was plotted in your presence. And I want to tell you that the energy of abandonment became the bargaining chip. And I just keep hearing 3 witnesses. The false mastermind, the enabler, and the one who was collateral damage in a war they were never meant to be in. And you were the pawn. And your abandonment was the strings. And I really want to say the illusion of abandonment. Parental figure in reverse. Sorry, Miss Jackson said something the other day, and take this as it fits, but I'm going to say exactly what she said to me. As a child, I understand. As a mother, how could you? Feel free, if this message is for you, to swap out mother and father interchangeably. As a child, I understand. As a parent, how could you? Contract paperwork. Caught. Revenge in reverse. The human contract could not override the soul contract. There's just this energy of being backdoored. And when I say you signed something with love, you signed something from a place of pure intentions. And I want to tell you that when you held the pen in your hand, it's almost as if you heard God move through you in the whisper of, you're gonna have to trust the process. That's the energy while you held this pen in your hand. And I want to tell you, you signed on the dotted line. But I want to tell you that very quickly you recognized how you had been backdoored. I want to put these 2 together. God, higher power, and strategy. Love. You signed with love. You signed from the heart space. You had no ill intent here. When you were willing to trust the process, a chain reaction of events took place. And I want to tell you that you were not privy, nor were they, to the chain reaction that both sides had kicked off, because this is intertwining energy. And I want to tell you, one chain at a time, you have watched, like the little, God, I can't even think what they're called, but like on a chain, each little chain has broken off little by little, but it's all been in a chain reaction because you led with love, because you chose to trust the process, because you were resonating from who you always were. You listened to trust the process, and you're letting God move through you. They thought they had your hands tied behind your back, but little did they know. Little did they know how truth would move through you because you trusted the process, because you moved when you could not see. You could not see the way out. You couldn't see the door. That's why they thought they could backdoor you. Little did they know this would all come full circle. And if this is for you, I am going to tell you that you have been brought back to a table with the three witnesses. You have been brought back to the table. You had to move when you could not see. And you've been brought back to the table. Also reminds me of what Miss Jackson said. She said something the other day about her dad and that we're gathered here today. Normally we hear that at a wedding, we're gathered here today. But there was something about that phrase that was like, that could be a wedding or a funeral, right? It could, but it's a celebration. We celebrate life in both, right? The freedom card. You have the celebration card. You have the they got it wrong. I want to tell you that you were all meant to learn. This is the full circle. You were all meant to learn. You were all meant to learn from each other. You were all meant to come together. You were all meant to come together for the greater good. Now I'm going back to the third witness, the one who's the collateral damage. They were never meant to be the collateral damage in anybody's war. And if this is for you, you surrendered to the lesson while they attacked. And now that it's come full circle, you are recognizing how you were delivered through trusting the process. How no narrative, how no human contract could ever override your soul's purpose, your soul's mission, which was to recognize how God moves through you. And I want to tell you that you have felt the door close. The very same door they thought you couldn't see is the very door they tried to backdoor you with. And now it's come full circle. And they underestimated that even when you could not see with your physical eyes, that your heart, your knowing, your compass would lead you to the door. They're left to sit in the energy of their backfire. Because ego and humanness and attacks will never override the soul. Love you guys.